So what does the month of July hold for us and our future? Well, I'll tell you, hop aboard this roller coaster, friends, because it's about to take off. This is my July predictions and forecast for July 2023. I welcome you all with infinite love and gratitude. I am so happy to be back here with you once again. And if you missed me in the past week, you should be on Rumble. That's where you need to follow me. Also, down below, be sure to check out my newsletter. Open it up, subscribe, it's free. That way, if I disappear for a week, like I just did, you'll know where to find me. And you can always find me on Rumble, of course. The principal got mad at me and I got in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I said something back in 2020 and they dug it up. They like to dig up the past. And that's what happened. But we're back. We're stronger than ever. And this is July's prediction. So in the month of July, as we embark into this month of July, we're already 5 days, 6 days through, heading into a really magical day tomorrow on the 777 alignment. If you missed that video, be sure to check that out. While we're stepping into July, we also just stepped into the second half of 2023. And a 5 universal vibration in the way of numerology for the month of July. We also still have the 7 vibrations going on with July and the 7 year. The 777's coming up on Friday, July 7th. So it's a really amazing time. But first, I want to ask you, have you noticed some odd aches and pains throughout your body? Perhaps some interrupted sleep patterns. I've had some interrupted sleep patterns myself, actually. Accompanied for some of us with intense dreams, and for some people, even nightmares. So if your little kiddies are having nightmares, you got to get them a little dream catcher. You got to program it and smudge it with some sage, tell it what to do, hang it above their little heads, above their bed to catch those nightmares. But have you also noticed that you may be feeling a little more emotional than usual as well? It's kind of interesting, right? Well, hold on tight again, friends, because the month of July is going to be filled with emotions. That's going to lead to deep levels of healing, which is really the most important, right? As long as you're not resistant to that healing process, as many people are. Otherwise, it's going to do the opposing effect, and it's going to just rip you to pieces. Flow with it. Treat these energies as if you are a surfer. And once you learn to surf these different waves, you got it. You got this, friends. So these energies began flowing in actually on the solstice and are going to intensify greatly over the past weekend, especially when we just had the full moon on July 3rd. That really put an impact on people's emotions, which are still high because we're only a couple days past the full moon. We're still in that full moon energy, so it's pretty amazing. So try hard during this time of July not to take so many things personal, kind of like I did with the principal of this high school. You gotta laugh. You just, it's not funny, but you gotta laugh. So being that the emotions are totally full, and remember, I did put these out July 30th on Rumble. I'm adding, and of course, this will be a little different than what's on Rumble, so you might as well watch this one. It's more up to date. But at the same time, I did talk about these heavy energy emotions in July that are going to highlight global relationships, business, personal relationships, and unfortunately, we're going to witness, as we just did. Where was that? We saw it in Philadelphia. We saw it in Baltimore. All when that full moon energy kicked in the day later, we saw horrific events taking place because people overreacted to their emotions and took them into a less than smart direction. So more importantly, this month, folks, it's really important the first couple weeks especially that you take time to focus on yourself, to nurture yourself and your relationship with yourself and with the divine universe. The five vibration that we're in the month of July does bring forth a sense of freedom, a sense of adventure, and of course, change. Lots and lots of change. So you got to be willing to change. People don't like change, but change is awesome. Who wants to stay in the same place every day? I like change personally. Change is lovely. So the 5 energy is going to encourage us to embrace new experiences. So step out of your comfort zones, friends. Step out and seize the opportunities that are heading your way because there's many of them heading your way. Remember, your thoughts and words are the blueprints to your future. What you think and what you say is what you receive back from the universe. So knowing that opportunities are coming your way and getting excited about them now is actually going to help make them show up faster and better and quicker and all that. So remember to focus on that. It's really, really important, and important to step out of your comfort zone. The wonderful opportunity of July is going to help us to break free from any chains that have been tying us back for so long, both on a personal level and, of course, universally when it comes to global world events. In July, we should take risks. Don't do stupid things or less than smart. I don't like to use the word stupid. Less than smart things. Don't do less than smart things, but definitely you can take risks, step into the unknown, and do so with courage, do so with curiosity. Open up new doors, and new doorways are going to open for you. It's really literally a time to get out, meet new people, new friendships, new relationships, all that during this time. But again, focusing mainly on yourself. That's really important. As the month progresses and we have the, Venus conjunction, or one of those towards the end of the month, that's going to bring us to a focus on relationships. So right now, during the first part of July, focus on yourself and your relationship with yourself and the universe. The 5 vibration is also going to encourage us to explore new horizons, to take calculated risks, and most importantly, to embrace change. You got to embrace change, my friends. We need it, certainly, personally and universally on this planet. We can all agree on that. So yes, it may be intimidating at times to embrace change. I get it. I totally understand. But remember, growth is often what lies beyond the edge of our comfort zones. So step out of your comfort zone. Also remember to trust your intuition now and always, of course, as you proceed into the future to help you to conquer your goals and to achieve your dreams. Once you stay grounded, shielded, and such, and that's a technique I teach in my master classes to my students, my apprentices actually, to ground, shield, and protect. It's a practice done prior to doing shamanic journey. Ground, shield, protect. When you're grounded, you're not all over the place. It levels down your ADHD. Shield it, keeps out other people's emotions, and protect it, keeps us exactly that, protected from that which we need protection. It's something that needs to be done each and every day. So make sure that you're taking time to meditate, make sure you're taking time to pray, but even more so, connect with nature, get outside, go swim in a creek or go swim in the ocean and absorb some of Mother Earth's amazing radiant energies. And I'll go more into depth about the 5 vibration. I did go more into depth in my 5 vibration. And the do's and don'ts of the 5 vibration. That's important too, and that is in my newsletter. Not the one that's listed down below, because that one just came out today, but the one prior, the July newsletter. This is why you want to make sure you subscribe to that newsletter for free. You're going to find out about my classes, videos that you may have missed, and when I get in trouble by the principal, you'll know where to find me. Anyway, moving on to some more specific predictions. I'm going to start by putting out a little bit of a warning of sorts. As you know, I've been feeling and telling you for a while now that something huge is coming and something huge is going to change absolutely everything as we know it. And it's probably going to be something rather shocking. I do want to be clear about this, that I don't necessarily believe that's going to occur in the month that we're in, July. I believe it's going to start to be unleashed. Again, that portal is opening on Friday, the 7th, the 777 portal. That is just going to unleash all kinds of stuff. Good stuff, folks. Good, positive, amazing vibrations. As long as you don't resist them. Then they're not going to be so good to you. They're only good to you when, you're the surfer that can ride that surfboard. That particular wave, not that surfboard, but that wave. Waves are different. You got your pro surfboard, now start riding these waves. So what I do believe is that this is probably going to play out more between the periods of September and November, because we have that huge energy shift that I've been warning you since beginning of this year coming in September and October. So it's going to be interesting. But again, we're going to have to sweat it through the summer and other major events that are still going to occur during the summer months. I feel something catastrophic is coming this summer, and I certainly hope and pray it has nothing to do with what's happening over in Europe and nothing to do with nukes. So let us hold that in the light, because you remember my visions in the past of clouds and such, mushroom clouds. Remember, Spirit told us a while back that we would witness a weapon that we've never before seen. I got reminded of this when I was preparing my July predictions back in June, and Spirit reminded me of that prediction. And as you know, if you haven't followed me long enough, predictions sometimes can take 2 to 3 years to come into fruition. But often things will come back to me with either more details. That's why I do a show every Tuesday, because I often get more and more details as time progresses, or as we come close to a prediction coming into fruition, it'll come up again. So Spirit reminded me of an old prediction that goes back over a year ago at least, of a weapon that we've never witnessed before hitting our planet. I don't know what it is, don't know when, but we can easily assume where the vicinity of that's going to be launched or targeted. You may recall in my visions too in the past of dams being blown up, and we did unfortunately see that in the UKR or Russia, right there along those borders. But Spirit says there's going to be 3 more, 4 in all. Once again, I hope these are not related to what I said about here in the United States in the Hoover, which is a video I'm going to work on this week, coming up next week. So be sure, again, to check that out. And if you're new here, I welcome you to my channel, back to my channel. My name is Joseph Tittel, a.k.a. Spiritman JT, spiritual medium, here to bring you love, light, truth, predictions, and prophecy. If you want accurate predictions, prophecy, and truth, be sure to smash that subscribe, because you found the perfect tribe. Thanks to y'all for smashing that like button, and I thank all my supporters who absolutely make this free content possible for everybody else. So going back to the dams, yeah, I'm going to be doing something on the Hoover and why I believe that's going to happen. It didn't happen on July 4th, thankfully, because I really thought something big was going to happen, that they were going to use that day against us. But hopefully, I don't know, haven't paid attention to the news, to what happened, but not something as big as I felt could happen, and that's good. I'm grateful for that. I'd rather many predictions not come true. But, we're in that intense energy right now, and then when we get to the new moon around the 17th, there's going to be other intense stuff, and I'll have predictions revolved around that as well, so make sure you catch me every Tuesday. I wasn't here this week, again, you know why, and I may do a show tomorrow on Friday the 7th. So keep an eye out for that. I may. If I get the time to put it together, I will absolutely be doing that. And it'll probably be live on Rumble and uploaded to YouTube, because I think I'm going to actually start doing that to grow my Rumble audience. Do the lives on Rumble and then post it up on here. So anyway, we're heading into an extremely powerful and rare 9-year alignment on Friday the 7th, which is the 7-day ascension. I just uploaded a video about that today, so be sure to check it out. I go into complete detail and how you can benefit from it. Knowing about the energies and knowing what you can do to prepare for those energies is going to make you take the best advantage of it and be able to ride that wave right to the shore. And in that 777 video, I tell you exactly what you need to do to prepare and what you can do to help yourself. So check it out. I expect so much to be exposed in this month of July. We've seen a lot of stuff being exposed in June, but I expect July to highlight it even more until we reach September, when it's just going to blow the lid off of things. That's going to be an interesting month, I'll tell you. I look forward to September's predictions when I post them. So this is all comes from different aspects of events as far as big truth things coming out. So I would say political shocks, exposed corruptions, and even arrests, shocking arrests. Some in July, but between now and the end of the year, because this gate that opens on the 7th is just unleashing amazing spiritual vibrations and light codes and such that are just going to change everything. It's going to be good. We need it. We desperately need that. So not only that, in June we saw a lot of UFO alien stories and whistleblowers. Whistleblowers are going to continue to flow out, according to Spirit, into the light, exposing the darkness, even in this month of July that we're in. Even more shocking, but not so shocking, evidence of UFOs and a new stream of viral videos will be coming soon. With more truth coming to light, practically on a daily basis, as we can agree, July is not going to cease to disappoint or at all. It's going to cease to amaze us continuously as we witness cover-up after cover-up being yanked out into the light. Excuse me. So a new level of awakening is coming, friends. And again, that new level of awakening really hits on the 7th. RFK has already been in the spotlight. And he now has a good taste of what it feels like to be shut down and completely deleted. But Bobby K has so much more to expose, according to my spirit guides. And they are already fearing him more than they did DT. Actually, they already believe in their minds. They believe in their sick little minds that Don's out of the picture. They believe they knocked him out of the picture, and I don't know what makes them believe that. Again, haven't really paid attention to anything in the media, but I don't know what would make them think that. What, because of the indictments or such? But they truly believe that. They truly believe he's done. He's knocked out of it. And that's why they're going after Bobby. And unfortunately, I feel like he does not have a fair chance at all, especially when new candidates are going to secretly and suddenly start stepping into the race and into the 2024 race. One is going to be a female with a very loud voice to be heard. But my question is she just as corrupt as the rest, or will be corrupted like the rest? It's interesting because when they take the presidency, you know that it's an ancient ceremony. It goes back to ancient Egypt. Remember when they do the inauguration of the president, they're in front of the Capitol building, the dome. This is exactly what they did to the pharaohs in Egypt. They had the Dome of Isis. That's the Capitol building. And then on the other side, and they're in between, and on the other side is the obelisk representing Osiris's phallic figure. And that is in between, and they believe in the ancient Egyptians that when they did that ceremony between the obelisks of Osiris and the Dome of Isis with the pharaoh, that the pharaoh would take the gods would take over the body of the pharaoh and become the pharaoh. So they do that same ritual in the United States, where they do that right between the obelisk and the Capitol building and the dome. The whole big scenario there. So even if they go in good, is it really possible? I mean, I have no doubt that it's possible that a spirit, more like a dark entity, is taking over the president's body once they do that ceremony inauguration every year or every 4 years. I thought that was really interesting. Thought I'd share that with you. Not only that, the obelisk and the whole, if you look at the history of the one in DC, and it's all very much connected to the ancient pharaohs, to the Anunnaki and so forth. But anyway, so going back to these runner-ups, because I feel like I see a big runner-up because that has not stepped into the race yet. So, the one that's going to have the biggest spotlight on them, I don't feel like is there yet. And they're going to come out probably this month, August at the latest. The current administration here in the U.S., but many other countries as well, are about to experience a huge shaking from within. In the United States, there is a plan being devised on how to take out the POTUS and even his VP before the year comes to an end, perhaps before the summer even ends. Everything in the United States is about to change in major ways, mainly within the government and within the political arena. And look at what we have happening in France. Remember, I told you major protests, major, civil unrest. I said it in January. We see it happening in France. It's going to spread. It's going to spread, definitely going to spread. And, unfortunately, that's what they want, the evildoers. That's what they want. They want you out on the streets doing that purposely. What they don't want is you taking the streets and taking your power back. See, there's a difference. They're taking the streets and doing property damage is just senseless and stupid, and you're hurting your own people by doing so. What we need to do is take back our power, gather in the streets, and fight to take our power back. Just a big difference. And that's what really needs to happen. And that's what they're afraid is going to happen. But they do want people in the streets doing that. That's how they take control. Did you know that they deployed more military and police in France than they first did in the war over in Middle East, the United States? Kind of interesting, right? So anyway, there is a plan being devised to take that person out, JB. And it's going to happen. I predicted it years ago. I told you he will not fulfill his full term. Once again, Spirit keeps telling me and showing me to keep our eyes to the skies, because odd substances are going to fall from the skies. And of course, they'll blame it on something like the wildfires. But to me, and what Spirit showed me, it's something much more toxic than that. So make sure if you are in an area where this happens, you don't touch whatever it is. You wash it off and you stay indoors with your air on. Many things are going to begin to fall from the skies according to Spirit, and much of it feels a little bit off to me or a little odd. Now, we got to remember what Jesus Christ told us. Jesus said that the signs would appear in the skies. It's happening. It's been happening. But now this year it's happening more than ever because they're making it a big focus. Are they really, think about it, they, the evildoers, the puppets, all those, are they just pushing this because they know prophecy? Oh boy, they know prophecy, and they're trying to trick and deceive, because that's what Lucifer does. He tricks and he deceives. The most beautiful angel in the heavens, if you know the Bible and know about Lucifer. So he's easy to deceive. And again, they look like us, so you can't really tell the difference. People think the fallen angels are ugly and evil looking beings, and they're not. If you read the Bible, they were beautiful, beautiful angels. So, they're entities that they create. Yeah, definitely demonic looking and evil, as we know, but not all of it. The angels, the fallen angels, are actually beautiful. That's the trick. That's the deception, friends. And remember, again, Jesus said, keep our eyes to the skies. So therefore, maybe this will lead to my prediction that I made of a while back, a year and a half ago at least. I said that there would be a UFO that would crash, that would be caught on film, and it would become a big viral event. Now, we had the Las Vegas aliens incident, but I don't believe that was it. I mean, it could be. It matches my prediction perfectly. But from my visions of what I saw when Spirit told me that over a year ago, it looked much better, much bigger, including them like taking it out and video of that, so much that they wouldn't be able to suppress it. So could this be the month that happens, in July? Because that 777 vibration that's rolling in on July 7th is all about spirituality. It's all about ascension. It's all about galactic travel, universal travel and galactic travel. So yeah, it would definitely be a time where we'd see more UFOs and things. And maybe even tomorrow on the 7th, there may be big reports of UFOs. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But again, going back, this could be the time where we see all those things happen. But Spirit said, keep your eyes to the skies. And Spirit's been telling us that for a while. And Spirit was right. I mean, look at all the stuff that's been happening in the skies. And it's just going to enhance, especially according to what Jesus says in the Bible. So I had a weird vision of some type of kidnapping taking place. Now, this I know sadly happens each and every day. It's probably happening right now as we speak, unfortunately. So there must be something much bigger to this, such as maybe a politician or the child of a political person being taken for maybe ransom, bribery, or both. I don't think necessarily this is the United States, but this could occur in several places in July and throughout the remainder of 2023. So we're going to see this become, I guess, a thing of some sort. Excuse me. So whatever this kidnap hostage situation is, it's going to be a huge story. Spirit don't show us little stuff. Spirit shows us the big stuff, big stories. More problems are going to arise in July when it comes to big corporations, especially corporations like Disney. And I said that again when I put these out on July 30th, and I forget what just happened to Disney. It's probably in my notes for Tuesday's show, but something big just happened right after I said it, 2 days after or the day after with that. But more controversy is going to arise around Disney Corporation because, we know the woke went broke, or they're heading that way anyway. So stay tuned, because the next controversy there's a new controversy that's going to break out about protests outside Disney studios and Disney theme parks. Something huge. I don't know what they're doing, but they're going to really anger lots of people, especially parents. Spirit reminds me and reminds all of us we're still in that accident-prone energy. And when I said themed parks, Spirit reminds us accident-prone energy when it comes to theme parks, which tells us that there's going to be an increase in incidents and accidents and maybe even fatalities when it comes to theme parks. Fairs, carnivals, theme parks, all of the above. So if you're placing one of your little kiddies on the rides in one of these places, please do a safety check first. Our kids are the future. They need to be safe. And not even just kids, adults too, going on roller coasters and such. Beware. I said this again on the 30th, and there was just a major amusement park incident. I forget where. Somebody put it in the comments. I read all your comments, so thank you for your comments. And thank you for clicking that like button, because I love you. So the angry energy, that came in, especially on the full moon, but look at what happened with the Philadelphia and Baltimore. That's the angry energy. And sometimes people can't resist facing that angry energy and involving firearms and situations that arise from it. And we just saw that occur, unfortunately and sadly, and we're going to see that occur quite often during these summer months. Spirit just reminded me now of the beach. Remember, I did a prediction, wasn't that long ago, about beaches, mainly like places like Cancun, different countries, but it could be here in the United States too. It reminded me of, you remember there was a beach, horrific beach incident that occurred years ago. It reminded me of that. So be safe when it comes to the beaches. Spirit just reminded me of that. That's not even in my July notes. Something along these lines is going to occur around an outside outdoor event as well. Again, this could be a carnival, a fair, a street festival, music festival. We're going to see at least two. And I also saw another one that would involve a mall and shopping center occurrence taking place that reminded me of the one that happened in Texas in the outside shopping center. So again, be alert, friends, be aware, because also in Las Vegas came to my mind, home of the backyard aliens. And Vegas came to mind, as does the horrific event that played out there years ago that I actually predicted that was going to happen, and it did, unfortunately. I wish it didn't. I wish a lot of things I said didn't happen, but I forget what year that was. It was years ago. But I said in my January predictions, I saw a shooter up high in a building. Yeah, the whole thing was sad, very sad. Spirit, again, reminded me of that, and I've been reminded about that a few times this year already. So I don't know, not necessarily does it have to do with Vegas, or maybe it does. But Vegas is a huge area where, the elite, the evildoers like to do they like to sacrifice things on a huge stage, let's put it that way. And they do this. They do this through ceremonies, through all kinds of stuff. Which I can't even really talk about that, because that's why I got in trouble by the principal, talking about those people. Interesting, right? Anyway, moving right along. But I will talk about them on Rumble a lot when I get the opportunity. So, yeah, Vegas copycat event maybe, perhaps, hopefully not. July is going to be much stormier than previous years as well. So, extreme storms. And earlier than usual, including an unusual hurricane. Typhoons, cyclones, all of those are in the same category. Unusual tornado activity that's going to be in places rarely seen. I've said that before, and it happened in weird places. They even had one over there in Africa. But again, this is going to be happening again, tornadoes in places such as Africa. So that's also in actually my predictions here. African continent is going to be pounded with activity, and an event with weather and earthquake activity as well. Both China, Japan, both will be in the path of record-breaking storms that bring floods and cause a dam or water levee to overflow. I saw the water smash against the water levee. I didn't see the levee break or the dam break in this case. It looked more like a water levee. It reminded me of kind of like New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina came in, before the dam broke, before that water levee broke. It reminded me of that. But I didn't see it break, so I can't say that that's happening in Japan and China, but definitely getting close to it. I had visions of storms washing away small bridges, but one causes a larger bridge to lose stabilization. It becomes unstable and in turn collapses. And I believe, or at least I hope, that this actual bridge actually gets closed before it collapses. They see it becoming unstable, they close it off before it collapses. So we hold that in the light, that that's the way it plays out. Nobody is injured. The full moon, as always, is going to ignite earthquake activity. And again, I'm recording this. What's today's date? July 6th. I did actually do all this on June 30th, FYI, for those who missed the June 30th. So if folks are saying, oh, well, it's already past that date. No, I said it beforehand. Just saying, and there's been a lot of earthquake activity, major earthquake activity, actually. And I haven't really looked at the map or anything. I've been really a little busy. But I will before we do another Tuesday show, which may be tomorrow again, so stay tuned. So the bridge collapsing. So Spirit also showed me the first week to 2 weeks of July is going to have the greatest effect on the Earth's crust. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what Spirit said. And just because it's affecting the crust, it doesn't necessarily mean that those earthquakes will play out in July. It could lead afterwards because I'm going to say that September and October is going to be again the biggest time for earthquakes, maybe unleashing another one like they had over in Turkey. I had a strange vision of a building collapsing, and it appeared to me to be a rather large building. And it sort of reminded me of the Twin Towers when they collapsed, which, looks kind of like it was demolitioned, right? That's what this vision looked like. It was like being demolitioned, but it wasn't demolition like that weren't supposed to be anyway. Whatever this vision is, I don't know how this building occurs. I don't know where it's at, but that's the vision. And again, maybe by Tuesday or in the future, as we get closer to events playing out, I'll get more details and information. Airlines and airplanes are still very relevant in the month of July as world event and weather affects travels to so many areas. I said that air travel was going to be messed with and delayed and such, and that's actually happening. And I thought it was from volcanic activity, but it's actually from the wildfires. Still smoke, again, sometimes your visions, you don't know exactly what it is, you just see what it is, right? So, but Spirit says more weather affecting travel in many areas. I see one plane being detoured, I don't know why, and forced to land, causing frustration to passengers. I don't know what that's about, but again, it has to be something that's going to be a big news story if I got it in my visions. I had a vision of a small airplane, and the tail end of the airplane was coming out of the side of a building, and smoke was billowing out. Again, I'm not sure where this occurs, but I would say that there's going to be a small plane that ends up colliding into the side of a small building, or maybe a fairly large building, actually. I don't know if that's necessarily connected to the building collapse. I very likely doubt it. I know one of you just thought that. That's why I said that. See, I'm reading your thoughts. Even before this airs. So I had a vision of the small plane and the smoke coming out, but also I've been feeling that there's going to be some type of issues when it comes to our skies and with a specific airport, perhaps multiple airports. I couldn't quite put my finger on this, but I know that some type of event is going to occur at an airport somewhere overseas, not here in the US, that's going to cause concern and alert. Don't know what that is. We could assume that this could be related to the current conflict over there in Europe, although I would not bet on that. This could be actually somewhere completely different, such as Germany, for example, or somewhere else. How far am I? There we are. So to our friends down under, where to go? Oh, yeah. Australia, mate! And New Zealand. Both of those places are going to endure several shakings with Mother Earth's activity. And I don't know if there's been recent earthquakes there. Like I said, I put this out on the 30th, and I haven't looked. I just know that there's been a lot of earthquake activity. I don't know where, though. I was focused in the western points of both Australia and New Zealand. And a rare cold is going to hit parts of Down Under, as well as having an effect on their vegetation. Just a small part. It looked like a small part. It didn't look like all of Australia. And in New Zealand, I saw a big shaking of their political system that's going to spread over to their friends in Australia. Interesting to see what that ends up being. Remember my warnings about animal attacks and whale attacks and shark attacks? And I had a vision of a surfer being surrounded by sharks. And what it appeared to me like was a tournament. It looked like a surfing tournament. It looked like I was watching it on TV. Well, a lot of my visions look like I'm watching it on TV. But it was a tournament, and one surfer fell into the waters, and then I saw a scene of panic. People rushing, a scene of panic. So I don't know what the outcome was. Probably not good, but maybe it is. So please be careful. Please be cautious when you're out in the waters. And again, stay very far away from any wildlife. You don't need a damn selfie next to a bear because that bear is going to eat you. And then you deserve to be eaten because that's no respect for nature. Have respect. They respect us most of the time. This is going to sound a little odd, but I will tell you that everything I see and feel, I tell you everything I see and feel. And Elvis Presley has been haunting my mind for the past few weeks, and I believe we will find out soon why. 15 years ago, not long after I started doing yearly predictions, I said that we would find out the truth about Elvis once he actually dies. And I know, but I said ever since I was a kid and Elvis died, I told my mom that Elvis never died. And that's when I was a kid and I was seeing spirits like crazy as a little boy. Still do, but even more so then because I was being trained, I would say. The spirits were training me. So, has that time come? Did the king actually die? Or is he about to? Is the truth about Elvis Presley's death going to go viral soon? I bet you it does. And not only that, is something about Elvis Presley, his estate, something about Elvis, his estate, his family, and even Priscilla. Priscilla just turned 78, and Priscilla Presley happens to be in her 9 year of endings, and it's already been so hard for her, I couldn't even imagine. Grandson took his own life. Daughter passed away. Just tragic, sad. So this is certainly, without a doubt, taking a toll on her. A grandson's one thing, and now your daughter on top of that. That's rough. That's really rough. Prayers to her. But she's at that point. Spirit tells me that she wants to opt out. And if she wants to opt out, she's in her 9 years. She can. Not everybody goes in their 9 year, by the way. It's just 9s are endings of death of cycles, and it's more common than the others. But I don't know, 4 is another common number. So it doesn't matter. You could die in any number year. There's no assigned number that you die at. It's just more common that it's in the 9 year. And the 4 years, another one, 4 and 5. And that's just from 30 plus years of mediumship and clients and putting it together with my own people. I know so many people, unfortunately, that are in the spirit world and putting it all together. And it was amazing how many ended up 9s, like my mama, for example. So Yellowstone National Park. I just started watching that Yellowstone. Ooh, that's a good show. That's like modern day cowboys and Indians. Really good show. But Yellowstone National Park keeps coming to my mind. And Spirit warned us about Yellowstone National Park in my previous predictions. It almost feels to me like there's an attack on the park itself, probably from our own government. Like there's that purposely. So shutting it down on purpose, like an attack on the park to keep people out of there would be my guess. But could an attack on the park also be arson or fire? I didn't see any of that. But again, I didn't get visions. I just got the message from Spirit. And not long ago, I predicted that parts of the park would be shut down, and they were. But I also feel that at one point, the entire park is going to be shut down to a whole lot of disappointed tourists. Unusual activity is going to flare up at Yellowstone National Park in their volcanic activity and earthquake activity, especially more so again between September and October. Several fatalities are going to be reported, first from, again, less than smart people, disturbing wildlife, and others related to weather events. And 2 people go missing. 1 never recovered, while the other is found along water and rocks near a little cove of sorts. I saw that in the vision. Unusual earth activity at Yellowstone is going to cause, of course, the fear to become fearful that there's going to be a huge eruption. Watch, there'll be YouTube videos all over. Oh my God, Yellowstone's going to erupt. It's not going to happen, friends. I assure you. It's not going to happen. Not in a way that we need to worry about it. Minor, but nothing major, according to Spirit. So, and if Spirit says it, I trust it with everything. And come on, I moved 2,300 miles across country because Spirit told me to. And let me tell you, thank you, Spirit, because you made a perfect decision for me. I just committed. We're going to see a lot of confessions. So look at the tapes that were just released of DT. That's kind of confession on tape, right? Not that he was confessing like purposely, but it's a confession caught on tape. We're going to see a lot of that in July. And again, moving on through the end of the year. And a highlight on our independence, especially here in the United States. There's going to be a launch of many new investigations, including an undercover news investigation that's going to send people into an uproar. I don't know who's doing it or what it is or what it's about. Spirit said there's going to be a lot of, again, investigations and news investigations, but one particular one that's going to really send people in an uproar. Wonder what that is. And again, if you want to know the positive and negative attributes of the July, check out my July newsletter that was put out on June 30th. Another thing I wanted to say, because a couple other things that are in my notes that was supposed to be for Tuesday, but I never did a Tuesday because I wasn't allowed. Um, so I did put that in there. Oh, so Madonna, yeah. Are they going to sacrifice her? Is she going to be the next sacrifice? And think about Madonna and where she stole that name from, right? Think about that. Think about her song. Think about a lot of her songs, right? And Madonna, I told you, I predicted that she was going to have major health issues in 2023, and she does, major. And she's in her 4 vibration, so she needs to be careful what she does and says because she's on the top of their list to strike out, like they took out Michael Jackson and who else? A lot of others, but yeah, she's on their list. I don't know why. It's almost like a sacrifice of the sacred, even though she's not sacred, but you understand what I mean. So I talked about in the past massive strikes happening and massive strikes coming. We're going to see more of that in this month of July. Massive strikes, friends. And we are seeing that. Major civil unrest. Problems for Germany that could lead Germany to Raw. Spell Raw backwards. I'm not going to say the word. So from now on, when I say Raw, spell it backwards and you know what I'm talking about. Codes, friends. What else was I going to say? Oh, New York City keeps coming to me. And I don't know why, but New York City has been coming to me for a while. And look at what happened in New York City already so far this year. I mean, they get smoked out. They had that minor earthquake that I said was going to happen. It was minor, super minor. But they just released information that the island of New York is sinking quicker than they thought it was sinking. All kinds of stuff highlighted, the smoke screen. And again, everything's symbolic. So if the smoke from the wildfires are, all over New York, that's a smoke screen. Think about it. What are they screening? What do they not want you to pay attention to? Lots of things, friends. There's so many smoke screens lately. So New York City, my friends in New York, I have lots of friends in New York. I've done a lot of work in New York. New York, friends in New York, be safe, be aware. I just feel like bad things may come to New York in the near future, including, again, leading up to maybe some of my past predictions with the collapsing of a tunnel, flooding, and even eventually the big wave that washes over the East Coast. I don't think that's coming soon, but it will come eventually. So remember, again, to smash that subscribe, be a part of our tribe. We welcome you to this tribe. Thank you for the like. And most importantly, thanks to all the chat cash and the PayPal and the supporters and the members below. You can join below. You can also join the Awaken Your Spirit community where we hang out on Zoom and do cool stuff. And it all supports this free content for everybody. So a big thank you to all those that make this possible. I couldn't do it without you, and I am so grateful. Get over to Rumble and make sure you follow me there and all the other places too. I'll be back soon, perhaps on Friday the 7th, but definitely on Tuesday with another episode of Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time. I wish you all an amazing month of July and a big happy birthday to all those Cancers and Leos. Yes, happy birthday, Cancer and Leo. Happy birthday to you. Until the next time, celebrate life, celebrate you, friends. Be bold, be true, be kind, be you. Why? Because you're friggin' awesome. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and an amazing month of July. Namaste.